This footage should never have been seen publicly. But now, the whole world is watching, and the army still can't believe what Jungkook actually did for Taehyung. What is HYB trying to hide from the other BTS members? Is this a sign of something bigger, more emotional, and deeper than just an ordinary gift? ARMY can't believe it. Jungkook did something crazy for V before going to Switzerland. Here's the recording. Nothing can prepare us for a moment like this. No one could have guessed that behind Jungkook's small smile and Taehyung's sharp gaze, a story was hidden that even HYB herself tried so hard to keep secret. But today, everything changed. Because of one little thing Jungkook did secretly, it now shakes up the entire fandom and leaves one big question. What exactly did Jungkook give Taehyung before his Swiss departure, and why didn't HYB want anyone to know about it? It all started with footage that could somehow be leaked to the public. Not from V Live, not from the usual behind the scenes, but from the blurry cut of the video, to the soft yet emotional voice of someone who is none other than Jungkook. His voice sounded trembling, not from nervousness, but like he was harboring something too deep to reveal. "Hyung, you will definitely need it there," Jungkook says in the recording.
"Don't tell anyone, yeah.
"It's from me, and only for you." What gift can make Taehyung freeze in place? What can make a member who is known to be calm and full of charisma like V stare at the floor for a long time, hold his breath, and be speechless? As the footage spread, speculation instantly flooded social media. Armies from around the world began digging, re-examining every footage ever released, trying to find clues about the mysterious gift. But what was most surprising was when Jungkook himself finally spoke up. In a sudden live stream session held without any notice, Jungkook appeared on the screen with a serious but warm face. He looked at the camera, then quietly said, "I know the video is out there. I'm not angry. Actually,
I'm relieved.
Because I've been hiding this for too long." The pause he left after that sentence was sharper than 1,000 questions. He exhaled, then added, "HYB doesn't want that to be known. But I don't think feelings should be hidden, especially if it is for a person who means a lot." It was the first time Jungkook had spoken directly about giving his secret to Taehyung. And from the tone of his voice, it was clear that this was no ordinary gift. ARMY begins to question things. Does the gift have anything to do with their past? Is it some kind of hidden symbol or message about a friendship that once cracked, or even something even deeper? HYB has not issued an official statement as of this writing. But an unnamed internal source admitted that the gift was too personal to be made public and that the main reason for the concealment was not malicious intent, but in order to maintain the privacy of the emotional relationship between the members. But after the tape spread, many questioned, is it true for the sake of maintaining privacy, or is there another side that HYB is trying to cover up? One thing is certain. The video shows more than the usual interaction between two friends. Jungkook handed over a small box wrapped in a black cloth with the initials V on the end. Inside, reportedly, there is an object connected to their current training period as trainees, an object that only the two of them know the meaning of. He once said that it saved him from doubt. Jungkook said, "And I hope this time it saves him again." In Switzerland, when he was alone. That thing? Until now, the ARMY could only speculate. Some say it was a small pendant that V used to wear during pre-debut. Some believe it was an audio recording with Jungkook's voice recording uplifting messages. And more surprisingly, there is speculation that it was a handwritten letter Jungkook had written a long time ago, but only handed in now, ahead of Taehyung's departure to Switzerland. What about the other BTS members? According to internal sources, they did not know about the gift. Even Jimin was reportedly quite surprised when he heard the news, and regretted that such a beautiful thing was not shared together. However, Jimin also gave a soft statement when asked about it. If it makes Taehyung feel loved, then there's no need to explain it to anyone. The question now is, why is HYB being secretive? And why did Jungkook choose this time to divulge it himself? Is this some kind of emotional breakup? Or maybe the signal will be something bigger, a secret project, a collaborative album, or just a message of love between best friends that is too deep to describe in words. The footage is now viral. Thousands of reactions flooded Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. The trailer was remixed, added subtitles, and even animated by the fans. But what was most evocative were the tearful comments from ARMY who admitted that they did not expect that Jungkook, who had been known to be ignorant and full of mystery, kept such a soft side. "We don't know how much they're hiding from each other," one fan wrote. "But now we know love is real." And Jungkook proved it. Is this the end of a long hidden story? Or is this just the beginning of the truth that only they both know? To be sure, Jungkook has opened a door that can never be closed again. And when the ARMY looked into it, they not only saw a gift, but saw a heart wrapped in courage and handed over to one man, Taehyung. And behind all the surprises, one thing remains hanging in the air. What exactly is in the box? And why, even now, is Jungkook still unwilling to reveal the full extent? What exactly is in the box? Was it just an ordinary object that became a personal symbol of the two of them? Or is there a long story embedded in it, an old promise, an untreated guilt, or something they've been protecting from the public eye? What's surprising is that not only the contents of the box remain a mystery, but the way Jungkook handed it over. From the leaked footage, the ARMY captured several key moments that made the heart beat faster. One is the look on Jungkook's face as he hands over the box. Not the face of a global idol making a sweet gesture to a friend, but the face of someone who knows that what he's handing over isn't just an object, it's a fragment of his soul. And even more curious, Jungkook did not immediately give the box in front of the camera or in a crowd. He waited for everyone to leave, waiting for the night. And when only the two of them remained in HYB's rehearsal room, with its strange dim and silent lights, the box changed hands. "If it's too heavy, you can return it at any time," Jungkook said in a low voice that sounded like an old sore. "No," replied V, barely audible, but enough to make anyone who heard along feel breathless. "I know why you're giving it up now, and I'm not going anywhere without it." The recording stops there. But the effect is still imprinted. That night, Switzerland became a buzzword that not only referred to a beautiful country in Europe, but turned into a symbol of a much larger emotional journey. ARMY knew Taehyung was going to Switzerland for an international project, maybe a photo shoot or brand ambassador activity that HYB hadn't officially announced. But why does Jungkook look so heavy-hearted when he says goodbye? And why does the breakup feel like a cover up of something they haven't had a chance to finish yet? Shortly after the video went viral, one thing came up that made things even more complicated. HYB's official account deleted one behind-the-scenes video showing Taehyung getting ready at the airport. The video was not previously considered important. It was just a visual documentation of V's departure for Switzerland. But after the private footage was leaked, fans found one odd thing in the airport video: Taehyung's very blank stare just before getting into the car. It was as if something had just shaken her heart, or maybe something she knew she couldn't express on camera. Netizens began to speculate more deeply. A fan from Korea even claimed to recognize the box Jungkook gave him as a replica of a box they had seen on one of the old episodes of Bon Voyage. In that episode, Taehyung and Jungkook gave each other small gifts. However, at that time no one knew that the object would become something so important years later. And now, when all the pieces are put together, they form an emotional narrative that cannot be denied, that the two have shared a secret that cannot be shared with the world. Why hide from other BTS members? This question becomes a time bomb. Many soldiers said they were saddened to learn that not even Jin, Jimin, RM, J-Hope, and Suga knew about the gift.
But there are also those who understand.
Because in every relationship, there is always a space that only two hearts can enter. And perhaps this is the space that Jungkook and Taehyung created, away from the glitter of the stage, away from the camera spotlight, even away from their own management. However, Jungkook's decision to let the footage go has also raised many questions.
Why now?
Why is Taehyung going to Switzerland? And why in his live video, Jungkook said, "Maybe this is my way of saying goodbye," without actually saying it? Is this a sign that something is about to change? Was Switzerland a turning point in their relationship? Or will this be the starting point of a confession that has so far only been kept in silence? An inside source close to HYB's creative team mentioned that Jungkook had personally asked permission to give Taehyung something. But he also asked that it not be made part of the content or included in the promotional documentation. He just wanted it to be a personal memory, the source said. But surprisingly, it wasn't HYB who leaked the footage. It was Jungkook himself. It took 2 days after Jungkook's emotional livestream before the world finally heard from the most anticipated person in the story, Kim Taehyung. The figure known for his calmness and mystery, who usually chose silence when the world around him rumbled, finally appeared. Not in the form of a press conference, not in the usual V-Live, but through something even more surprising, a handwritten letter. The letter was uploaded on the official Weverse account and instantly became the center of attention. No photos of faces, no majestic backgrounds. Just a white sheet of paper with Taehyung's very distinctive writing, slightly tilted to the right, messy but elegant, and full of emotions stored in every pause. And that opening line is enough to make anyone stop breathing for a moment. I know you've all seen it, and I know you want to know what's really going on. But before you ask any more questions, let me tell you about something you've never seen before. That sentence was like opening the door to a secret room that had only existed between him and Jungkook. Taehyung did not immediately explain the contents of the mysterious box, nor did he confirm in detail what Jungkook had said. But one thing he emphasized from the beginning: the gift is not just a thing. That's a reminder, a form of feeling that is too long delayed. We made a promise when we were trainees, a promise that we thought was a joke. But as we get older, that promise grows into something deeper, heavier, and more real. What's the promise? ARMY began to speculate more wildly. Did they ever promise to never leave each other? To always be honest about whatever they feel? Or maybe to always protect each other from the sometimes too cruel pressure of the industry? In the next paragraph, Taehyung wrote something that left thousands of fans unable to hold back tears. There were times when I felt alone, despite being surrounded by many people. But among all that, only one person knows how to read my silence. He knew when I needed a hug before I even realized it myself. And that gift is a hug from the past that I can finally carry into the future. It didn't take long before the letter was captured, translated, and distributed throughout the world. Armies from different parts of the world flooded the platform with one phrase that has now become a symbol of hidden love, a hug from the past. Even the fans made digital art, merchandise, and a short song based on that phrase, making it an emotional legacy of two hearts that finally opened the veil over the years. But the culmination of everything isn't happening in Weverse. Not the next live stream, but from a new piece of footage that leaked from a Swiss shooting location. And what is caught on camera is not just an ordinary modeling activity or advertising photo shoot.
No.
What is caught is Taehyung grasping something familiar, a small box wrapped in black cloth with the initials V, which is now no longer foreign. He didn't realize there was a small camera from the documentation team recording it from a distance. But precisely because of that, the moment feels very honest. Taehyung looked at the box, opened it slowly, and smiled slightly while nodding slowly. Then, in a moment that seemed to be slowed down by time, she closed her eyes and cried. Yes, crying. Not a dramatic cry like we used to see in movies, but the cry is calm, full of acceptance, and wounds that can finally be faced. What makes the cry appear? What exactly is in the box? The box contained a personal letter from Jungkook dating back to 2016 when they experienced a deep misunderstanding during training. The letter was never given because the time never felt right. And now, years later, with the many wounds they've gone through together, the letter has finally reached the hands it should. More surprisingly, in a short interview with a local Swiss media conducted after the photo shoot, Taehyung mentioned one sentence that made all the speculation even more inflamed. I didn't come here just to work, but also to heal something I've let go for too long. And now, I'm ready to go home. Home? The word contains many meanings. Will he return to Korea with renewed vigor? Or does it just mean that he will return to the figure that has given him strength all this time? Jungkook himself has not responded to Taehyung's letter directly, But in a radio broadcast he carried a few days after the letter appeared, he played one song that instantly made all listeners know this is no accident. It was BTS's Let Me Know, a song full of lyrics